Let's get this figured out. This road gon' give me whatever I need until I get this vision out. Then they gon' pay me whatever I ask, cause I got it figured out. Family be checking all up on a nigga to see how I'm feeling now. Damn, they love to see a nigga really make a killing now. I put a lock on the game and I hide the code and the keys. I am not playing no games, I really play this shit for keeps. That shit for me.
MaddenHeadz YouTube, what's going on? It is your boy, Coach DC, coming back at you today with another video. And today we're going to talk some Madden 23 beta. I've been on it for a second now, at least on the Xbox version. It's going to get a positive review from me. I mean, it's still the beta, so a lot of this stuff still remains to be seen. I still see that momentum meter up at the top. So to me, I take everything that I see with a grain of salt. You know, as you guys know, what I do here, I've been in this space for a minute. I talk mechanics. I teach mechanics, CoachDC404.com, virtual sessions, all that stuff. And so basically what I'm going to give you guys is my opinions of just the mechanical part of the game and the way things move. I do see definite improvement in the coverage, the way the deep blues react on the throw, as opposed to sometimes where they just kind of wait for the ball to get there and don't react. So there is definitely potential for better reactions. Still interested to see the final product, to see, how this momentum thing kind of affects the outcome of games. Is the third down defensive efficiency still terrible? Because it just seems like on this particular game, third down is so hard to get off the field. It's like they'll retain the catch, your guy will blow a coverage, something. And so even on the beta, I did see some of that, but that's neither here nor there. Still at the moment, it's not the finished product. So first thing, the passing system. I've tried all of them. And basically, in my opinion, you can just pass the way you did last year. All of this stuff is bells and whistles attached to stuff you're already doing, as far as I'm concerned. And that's not to say that it's not good, because there are some good things that are in that. But at the same time, just showing me a line and a graph and all that stuff does not impress me to think that the game has totally been revamped, when we all know that that's not the truth. The field sense thing, I still don't really know what that is. Madden's always been played on a grid. So that kind of, to me, you can call it field sense. I just say the guys are more responsive, or the defenders are more responsive. I wouldn't necessarily call it field sense. The hit everything thing to me is kind of interesting, because I did see some really good gang tackling animations. I was actually stripped at the goal line one time for running with the ball a little bit loose. One guy wrapped me up. The next guy just came and basically just, took the football right out of my hands, so to speak. And so those kind of things are good for the game, but they have to be skill-based. And this is where I don't want EA to drop the ball, because you're onto a good thing. You've done some good things with this game. So don't drop the ball in terms of making us victims of the momentum and the DDA and all that other stuff. We know that you'll say doesn't exist, but we all know that does. Yeah. So let's turn that down. If you're not going to take it, or if you're not going to put it to a place where we can cut it off, turn it down. All right. Now, again, when it comes to the passing game, the free form, the reticle and all that kind of stuff, to me, it's just a graph. Again, it shows you basically what you're already doing, your leads. You're barely even going to get to see it unless you use the slowdown feature to kind of focus in. And so I haven't really experienced all that yet, so I can't give you like a full in-depth analysis on that part. This is just my opinions of what I'm seeing initially, in my first, 5 or 6 days with the game or whatever. Running game I like the running game. I won't go into too many details about what I've discovered, but for you guys who have been getting virtuals and you frequent me on CoachDC404.com, or you're on my Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and you see the highlights, trust me, the running game is where it's at. The running game is still what we need it to be, exactly the way we're already doing it. Yeah, you don't have to change a thing. The modifier, to me, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what are the benefits. I see the benefits in terms of when you're able to break away. When you get into the secondary, it's much easier to change speeds and change directions, with a perfectly timed hit of the modifier, as well as changing the direction with the stick. That's one thing I'll give y'all that. All right. So just understand that the modifier is something, to me, in my opinion, right now, unless something's changed, the modifier is something that's going to help you in short yardage, and also probably be a bigger benefit to you as you break into the second level, as you take on those one-on-one angle tackles towards the sidelines as you're breaking away, or you're breaking into open space. If you're able to time your cuts, with your use of the modifier, you can do some really, really, really special stuff. Defensively, the modifier is the same thing as L2, and it's funny for me to have to actually sit here and keep calling it the modifier when it's L2, when most of this stuff is stuff that we've kind of already been doing for a couple years. Actually, the throwing thing is, go back and look at my earlier videos when the modifier was here, and this will get you kind of in tune to play Madden 23, because I'm telling you, it's visually or effectively, it's kind of like the same thing. All right. Again, the defense is, I love the defense. Another thing that I've been hearing a few rumblings about is the pass rush. I love it. I think what Madden, or what EA is trying to do, or is attempting to do with this game, is they're moving us a little bit more in sync with actual real-time speed, meaning, you're going to really have 3 seconds in the pocket most times, or you're really going to have only 2.5 seconds, and you're going to have to make a read, and you're going to have to be able to get rid of the ball in clean windows, because the defenders, on most plays are not standing around. They are really trying to make a play. Again, if you guys have been on the CoachDC404.com site, y'all guys know about the defensive playmaker. The defensive playmaker works better than ever. As you see my controller start doing its own thing on here. And so a lot of these highlights are, I'll show you this. Okay. So one thing about the freeform passing, and they're pumping this a lot, is placing the ball, in this ball placement, and putting the ball where only your guy can get it. That's true to a certain degree, but your click on mechanics are still going to have to be like A1. The catch animation thing that we kind of do, that still actually works better. A lot of the stuff does work better, especially that defensive playmaker. And so for you guys who know what that is, yeah, get at it. If you're on the beta, try it. And so a lot of these situations, like one-on-ones, you do have better control of the receiver. I'm seeing much better user animations and user-based animations where it feels like I'm in control of the animation itself. The throwing thing, it's still, in terms, I'm sorry, got off track there. Let's get back to the catching thing. So another thing that I've always had like an issue with them was like the spot. Back in the day, the spot used to actually intensify as the ball got closer. In this game, it still seems like the spot is fading. I think EA could do itself a big service by, intensifying the spot on the ground, and take the momentum stuff that takes the spot away, and the symbols and all that stuff. We don't need that. So by intensifying the spot on the ground, I feel like it can increase players, the users' actual, his ability to go for the ball, because as you get to the ball, the spot used to actually enlarge. Now it seems like the spot fades, or it fades as the ball arrives. And so it's like we're going in the opposite direction. I think that would be a big help, for the users and the guys that are, really into the user stuff that are trying to make the catches themselves as such. So the back shoulder fades and all that stuff, the physics and physicality definitely come into play, in your one-on-one matchups. Seems like it definitely comes into play in terms of the blocking too. So for you guys who like to get all your lightweight 90 speed, linebackers and stuff and put them on the D-line to try to put your speed package in, those guys are going to get mauled. And I mean absolutely mauled. You're going to have some physicality on this game. Physicality definitely comes into play. So that is a thing that I definitely like. In terms of the bigger, stronger players, they actually react as such, in certain situations. The linebackers make much better plays on the football, especially coming downhill. If you're throwing something in front of them, they're definitely going to come downhill with aggressiveness, and depending upon who the guy is, that he's going to make a good tackle, or he's going to make an attempt to make a tackle, because these arm tackles, they get ran through at a very high level. And so that's just a few of my thoughts. I'm gonna come back with a few more videos as I continue to break this stuff down up until the beta goes away. Y'all know I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Go get the virtuals. I'm telling you right now, go get the virtuals. Also have a big announcement coming up for the PCEN leagues as we start to get prepared to open registration for 2024. Appreciate you guys.